appropriate if I described it as an international team building?
The ships from Epsilon 3, those are...
Anybody clear? And myself, minimum personnel on the barge. You will be tended, and a major we'll call 323 help. Get me this on side, but we'll probably have our medical assess you first, get you stable before the ambulance team shows up. I'll be the fastest.
HYDRACRAB is a multinational exercise focusing on counter-IED and EOD here in the Indo-Pacific region. Well, it builds the capacity of all our partner nations to work together and just be prepared for any contingency in our region. Obviously, we're very keen to maintain a safe and secure environment in the Indo-Pacific region for all nations. Building the capacity and capabilities of our partner nations is very important. The full mission profile is a combination of all the training drills we've done over the last 2 weeks. Specifically for the Australian Clearance Diving Team, we operate primarily in the maritime environment. So for us, we're focusing on the maritime threats and specifically the counter-maritime IED threats. So we'll be operating in the water environment below the high water mark, protecting and responding to any threats around installations and on the seabed. For me, the favourite part is certainly engaging with all the other partner nation EOD techs. Obviously learning how they operate, how professional they are. It's been very special to work with them. Funny at times, but also that development of the professionalism amongst them has been fantastic. Well, the likelihood of us deploying to any, or responding to any threats in the Indo-Pacific region, we will be working with our partner nations. We'll always have been working as a joint force with our partner nations. So to build that capacity with us here, to learn how everyone operates is extremely important for us. It's still business as usual for us. We've had a long standing in the region working with our partners. We need to maintain that and keep that going into the future. It's good to know that we've got each other's back. It's important to know how we all operate. We're in it together. We need to feed off each other, work on each other's strengths, and also for us, for the Australians, to develop our capabilities as well. So we learn off our partner nations, and once again, to build that capacity to work with them in the region. Well, it's incumbent on all of us to work with the environment that we have, to sustain it, to make sure it's there into the future so we can keep using these training areas. We're very good at it. We have good processes in place to make sure that we have a very small footprint so we can work into the future and have that confidence and trust with the local populace as well, that we're looking after their environment. Guam's fantastic, still very hot, still haven't gotten used to that humidity yet, but it's a great place to be. It's very friendly, very easy to get around, and it's great working with our other nations here, having the social side of things as well. Most certainly. What we get exposed to over here, the training environment, the ease to move around with the diverse environments that are here is fantastic. It's invaluable for us to expose our techs to it, and obviously working with a whole range of different EOD units is fantastic for us to get out here, and I'll certainly come back again. Thank you very much to Mobile Unit 5 for hosting us here. They've done a great job of laying it on for us, making it very easy for us to get around and get the most out of the exercise whilst we're here.
So it's important for this exercise to be as realistic as possible because we only get so many opportunities to be able to run training without zero notionalized aspects of it. A lot of the training that we do in-house, we have to simulate things that aren't there due to lack of resources or something of that aspect. Out here, this is everything from helos to the water, sea, Humvees, live penalties, just the best type of training possible. So today we're going to be doing full mission profiles. This is going to consist of helos, the water portion to involve the Navy, land portion to include the Marines, as well as the partnering Canadian, New Zealand, and Australian forces. So the full mission sea profile, we have Marines, EOD, and Force Reconnaissance that are entering the water from helos, swimming to shore, and then pushing through an assault. So they have an objective of what they're going to accomplish. They're going to interact a couple contingencies that are going to impede their presence. They're going to have to react accordingly and then push through to the objective. I think as a whole, HYDRACRAB has been a huge success throughout the relationships that we've built to the experiences that we've been able to share. So what it means to me to work next to all the allied EOD forces is that it just benefits us as a whole to be able to capitalize on these relationships. I've worked with each one of these countries in an actual combat environment, so as small of a community as EOD is, whenever you find yourself over there, the chances of running into one of these guys is extremely high. So this type of training is extremely important for us on a big Navy Marine scale because in EOD you only have so much assets to be able to train. So when you bring in these 4 countries with all of their own personal experience and then you're able to learn from it as a whole, that right there is training that you just can't get in-house. I would absolutely do this training again. When you're training within your unit, you're limited to resources, you're limited to individuals that are able to cadre the calls and give you feedback. So when you bring in all of these countries, the amount of feedback that you receive is just huge.
Today we'll be conducting maritime waterborne IED response drills in and around the pier, what we'll call anti-terrorism force protection. So today we'll be conducting our final culmination event of the exercise, which is a full mission profile event involving EOD and integrated assault forces. This type of training is important because we'll always be integrating together in the future. and it's better to make sure we know how to work together in training so that in the future, if we have to, we'll be able to work together better and more effectively. So far, I think HYDRACRAB has been awesome. We did a lot of hard work on the front end, and we've seen the rewards of that through the last 2 weeks. So far, I've been talking with all the other teams. They've greatly enjoyed their time here, and they've thought the training was extremely beneficial. I'd definitely do this type of exercise again. It was really amazing to see teams from 4 different flags participating in the joint EOD exercise, and we really learned a lot from working with our own U.S. counterparts as well as our foreign counterparts. This type of multilateral training is important on a big Navy scale because EOD plays a huge strategic piece. Whether or not that's supplementing carrier strike groups or counter IED warfare, this type of multilateral training is important on a big Navy scale. We're able to really improve our skills by learning from our partners and then again working that integration piece, which we'll obviously be using in the future if we have to. Environmental stewardship plays a huge part in our planning and execution of an exercise like this. The biggest example is probably how we have to site the beaches for sea turtle nesting. Anytime we use any of the beaches on the island, we'll have environmental come inspect for sea turtle nesting before and after the evolution. It's important that we take the environment into consideration because we are residents of the island as well. It's really always good to put our best foot forward and let everyone here know that we're here for the betterment of the island, I believe.